No, it goes that way, doesn't it?
Afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our pre-match press conference to preview our game against Burnley tomorrow night, and we'll start off with Alan from Sky, please.
Well, Frank, before we start, I guess a little bit of administration, because there's all kinds of things going on, isn't there, with suspensions and injuries, and where are we up to?
Where do you want to start? Suspension, we know. We've obviously got Michael Keane and Alan are still out. In terms of injuries, Nathan Paterson will be out for a certain period of time. It's been down to see a specialist on his ankle, and we're looking at having a small operation later this week, so he'll be out. Fabian Delph is back in the squad, which is good news for us. Been working hard to get back in there. Yerry Mina isn't fit yet. Andros Townsend's long term. Who am I missing? Seamus is actually better now, having been not well, and will be in the squad. Whether he can start or not will be one to keep an eye on over the next 24 hours.
How significant can Fabian Delph be for you, especially in that position where he played?
Yeah, well, it's a position obviously where we haven't got a lot of players in the squad, to be honest. In that natural defensive position, he's played in a defensive midfield role throughout his career, and even as a left back a lot at Manchester City, so he has those attributes, thought process in terms of playing, which is something, as I say, we haven't got much of. So trying to keep him fit in this period is crucial for us. And everything I've seen from him here, he's desperate to get back and desperate to help out. And I know his qualities. He's a personality within the squad as well. So on those terms, then it's good. So let's hope, as I say, we can get him fit and get him on the pitch to help us.
And I guess, in football people say, it's one man's problem is another man's opportunity. When you look at the likes of Branthwaite, is he someone you look at maybe for this game? Possibly.
I'll have to look at the whole big picture of the team, and especially when we're playing this week and I don't know how, but we've managed to be asked to play 3 games from Sunday to Wednesday evening to Saturday morning. Incredible schedule, really, when it could have been easily Saturday or Sunday, but not 12:30 kickoff. But we've got the short straw this week, so I have to take that into consideration in terms of fitness and freshness of the players as well.
Looking back on Sunday, you spoke afterwards about a lot of positive signs. What in particular did you like about that performance? Obviously, I know the result was not what you wanted.
No, well, I think we played pretty well. It was a very balanced game. Probably a draw would have been a fair result. If we'd have won it, with that before we had a man sent off, I think it would have been fair as well from our point, because I thought we worked hard. We didn't give away that many great opportunities. We had some good opportunities against a good team. So we were more comfortable on the ball than some games we've been in recently, away from home for sure. I mean, at Goodison we've been good, but away from home. So in terms of an away from home performance, I was very happy with it, and it was a level that I want us to at least maintain and improve on. And if we do, then we'll get results at that level.
What are you expecting of Burnley tomorrow? Because there's a certainty you'll get different challenges over the next few weeks, won't you? What are you expecting there?
Sure, what you expect from Burnley all the time, and they've got a fantastic manager. They're used to playing in the Premier League, to not just surviving in the Premier League. That would be a disservice to them. They've had a lot of years now where they've had different relative successes. So they go into this sort of run in as a team that know what they're doing. They do the same thing a lot, and they do it well, and they make it very difficult. Very physical team, tough to play against, work hard off the ball, have a certain style which is difficult to combat, and you need to be absolutely up for the basics in the game to combat that in terms of the physicality side of the game. So we will have to do those things right to get result, as everybody does. You watch, and play against Manchester City at the weekend at 2-0 in the early parts of the game. Manchester City generally go on and score more. Burnley don't make it easy for you.
You have to win the battle before you win the game.
Yeah, and that's football, to be honest. That's every game in the Premier League because of the level. But as I say, with Burnley, and because of what will be deemed to be at stake, even though there are 9 games to go after for us, then you know that it's a big pressure game, which is what we're here for.
Thanks, Alan. We'll go to Richard Graves at Premier League Productions, please.
You speak about needing to win the mental battle really before you actually play the game there. Given what's at stake and the noise around this game, how important is it that all 11 or the whole squad going into this game mentally are absolutely on it tomorrow night?
Yeah, it's very important because it's a big deal. It's a big deal. We're playing in in a position and a reality that we're fighting at the bottom end of the table to try and stay in the league. That's been the case for a while. Of every game that goes, it becomes more intense. So the mental preparation, the physical preparation is key, and then it's how you perform on the day. But we can control lots of parts of that in terms of the preparation. The squad will be very focused and very understanding of what we're going into there, and then after that, it's the performance.
Is it one of those games, do you feel, where the first goal really could be pivotal?
I don't know. Yes, ideally yes for us, and it gives you confidence. We haven't been able to score the first goal away from home, particularly this season, enough, and we've seen that the results haven't been what we want. But I don't know. It's very hard to sit here now and guess the intricacies of the game, what may happen, what may not. But what I said before, I think still stands, is how you prepare and then how you perform over the course of 90 minutes. And that's why I think at West Ham we gave everything for the whole game, and I think we're pretty unfortunate with circumstance and that the result didn't go our way. Other days it will go our way, but we have to make sure we get ourselves right.
And I suppose when you go into a game like this, it's natural that there'll be tension in the stands with the fans. Tension can creep into the game. Is this where you and the coaching staff play a big role?
Yeah, that's our job, and tension can be a good thing. It can also go the other way. I don't feel tense. I actually feel excited with the level of game and the competitive nature of what this game is. I loved, as a player, being involved in competitive games where there's a lot on them, and now we have 10 of those, and this is the first one that's in front of us. So yeah, I'm calm and excited, and when the game comes, we just have to have an absolute belief in ourselves, belief that we've done everything right and we know how we want to approach this game, which the players will, and then it's up to performance again.
And of course you got 78 minutes from the start out of Dominic on Sunday. How has he come through that, and do you feel he's in a good enough place to perhaps go again tomorrow?
Yeah, no, he's certainly in a good place to go again, and he's had a lot of injuries, and the day before the West Ham game it was feeling a little bit stiff, and so we were going into a game, as I say, where you have 3 games in sort of 6 days. We want to manage him right, but at the same time now he's getting into the position where he is right and ready, and he's looking sharper. So no worries about Dominic at all.
And just finally on Burnley, everybody knows the position they're in the table, but you look over the course of the season, they've drawn 12 of their 28 games, which suggests they do have a solidity about them, even if they're not going on to win those games.
Yeah, but that's a trademark, isn't it, of Burnley over the years. They've never been easy to beat, and they don't concede that many goals. They, as I say, they're very effective in what they do. So we're not surprised by that. But I don't need to go into how many they've drawn or won or whatever. The table is what it is. We all understand that now. So again, it's how we think about ourselves and try and counter their strengths on the night. And we want to get the result. Simple.
Thanks, Frank.
Thanks, Richard. We'll go to Chris at Radio Merseyside.
Hi, Frank.
Hi.
On Nathan Paterson, have you had a chat to him since Sunday, and how's he dealing with the frustration, given how well he played for Scotland in the break, and you said he would have made his Premier League debut as well against West Ham?
Yeah, that's the particular frustration for all of us, and for Nathan obviously a bit more than anyone, because it's him, and he was due to make his debut. He knew that. He's waited his time. He performed well for Scotland, and that's the big disappointment. So he is frustrated, but at the same time it's easy when you're a slightly older man talking to him. You can tell him that he's young, he's got so much time. The timing of this will probably mean that he'll have the summer to really get over it and be fighting fit for the start of next season. It's really unfortunate for him, but we just have to accept it, I suppose, and Nathan does, and he'll get all the right support in the short term and he'll be back.
You've spoken about things not going your way recently, but has it frustrated you to see decisions perhaps not going your way in games that aren't even involving your team? I'm thinking about Weghorst potentially avoiding a potential sending off against Man City while you still have Allan suspended for this game.
I think you'll be careful going into other games that you're not involved in too much. I understand what you mean. I'll leave that one to fans or media. You can analyse what's that. Otherwise, I think it looks like you're looking for too much. But you look at our own games, and there's been absolutely in the short term there's been crucial decisions against us that have cost us points. There are some things you can control yourselves. I won't stand here after Crystal Palace and defend a performance. We got beaten. We deserved to get beaten. And there are times when you say, well, Manchester City, we lost a point because of a decision, or Allan for 3-game suspension for a yellow card tackle was just incredible. So those things have happened. But we must keep fighting because they do happen. Maybe in a few weeks you might be telling me that a few things went in our favour, and I'll say about time. And hopefully there'll be they would have helped us on the way to getting some points.
And you're coming up against an extremely experienced manager in Sean Dyche tomorrow, and you've said again you know what to expect from Burnley, but in a way, does it kind of make it easy to prepare for the game, given that you know what you're expecting?
Yeah, possibly, but I don't want to undersell Burnley. I'm not here to call them a one-trick pony. I think they have individual qualities within their team, individual players. And when I say I don't want to make it too simplistic about the way they play, because you should respect them much more than that, and I certainly do. So, no, I think our job is to prepare, however detailed that is, or however many variations of the way they may play, or try and attack or defend against us. And then the rest is up to the players when they get out there.
And just lastly from me, Frank, calvert-lewin, you said about 78 minutes on Sunday. How close do you think he is to getting back to the format sharpness that we saw last season, and is he putting any pressure on himself in terms of getting back to that form?
Oh yeah, he is, because he's a top talent, a player who wants to do the best, wants to perform, and unfortunately when you're at that level and you perform, people really want that from you at all times. And I know from being a player, when you're injured, you can't do anything about it, so that's tough, very tough. But at the same time, when you're striving for your fitness and your sharpness, it's not as easy as what people think to get that back. But I do feel now he's in that position. He's certainly very, very hungry. He certainly has my backing. And, I think he's in a good place now. So it's, time to stop talking, hopefully. He can stay fit and he'll deliver on the pitch. That's the talking. That's the same for any footballer.
Thanks, Chris. We'll go to Alistair at the BBC, please.
Hi, Frank. Just to confirm, did you mention Donny van der Beek at the start there?
Yeah, no, I didn't. Sorry, Donny won't be fit for tomorrow. It's a small grade thigh injury, which will make him fit. Can't play Manchester United at the weekend anyway, so he'll be fit for our next game.
And when you talked about Nathan there as well, are you saying that you think his season's over now then?
Yeah, possibly. The diagnosis we have is that it's looking like a sort of 8 to 10 week injury.
I'm just wondering, in your coaching team, we've spoken this before, you've got a lot of experience at the sort of top end of the table, challenging for championships and promotions. I just wondered whether you'd ever spoken to your uncle, Harry Redknapp, about relegation battles, and whether you'd consulted him at all.
No, I haven't. I've got a good relationship with Harry. I just haven't spoken recently, but I've also got Paul Clement on my staff, who I think they won 13 points at the last 15 to stay in the Premier League, which is some going. At Swansea. So no, we have experience on the coaching staff of these situations, and we have experience of football, and that's what I answer pretty much every press conference at the minute. There are huge pressures in football in any position, and I've experienced them a lot, and as I say, people like Paul have at the bottom end of the table, so yeah.
There must be, I don't know if there's a kind of a personal frustration about the position the team's in at the minute. I just wondered how difficult it is as a manager to sort of balance that against sort of remaining positive for the squad and the team, and ensuring that there's confidence in the side to get back out of it. Yeah, no, I think the remaining positive and confident is the biggest thing for me to do as the first person to do at the club, because a lot of the feeling of expectation and the dissection of games and every result it comes in the modern day that surrounds a football club like Everton or any huge club. We are a huge club. We're a huge club with a huge fan base, a huge tradition. So it's very much expected that if you're not getting the results you want, if you're in a position you don't want to be, that comes. So the most important thing for me is to be the positive one, and the one that's always looking to the next game, always focusing on the work, always imploring everyone in the club to be focused and positive about what we're doing. That's absolutely my first role. Yeah. And just last of all, I know you've probably got enough on your plate, but there's been quite a lot of talk about Everton's finances over the last week or so after the accounts released. Is that something that concerns you at all in terms of the debts, or is it something you just leave to other people in the club?
I absolutely leave to other people. I don't have a good enough understanding of it. I have enough to do at the moment, so then to read the finer detail, and even if I did, I wouldn't have that understanding. So it's of no, it's not part of my thought process at the minute. The next 10 games are. The next 10 games are completely what I'm focused on, and after that, we'll see.
Okay, thanks.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Alistair. We'll just go to Ian at the back of the room, please.
I just wanted to ask, you might dispute one or two of the decisions, but when you talk about that mental preparation for the game, there's been 3 red cards in the last 3 league games. Have you had to specifically deal with discipline?
No, I mean, yeah, I don't like the red cards. The Alan one I don't think was, but again, I won't go over that one. But with the other 2 tackles, they were the type of tackle that can happen in a game. But when you're on a yellow card, it's the type of tackle you should refrain from. So the players know that, because trying to approach games or get back into the game at West Ham and against Wolves are made more difficult by having 10 men. So yeah, we have to make sure with the level of game and the importance on them in going forward that we don't make those mistakes. They are mistakes.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, thanks everyone.